I just got your live announcement.
Yeah.
That was that gunshot, yeah.
Hey, Ed. Hey, Pugface. There's going to be a moment of synchronizing. YouTube's been doing something lately where it takes a few for a live stream to synchronize, but usually after the first minute or two, it's all straightened out.
Right on.
Hey, Freedom News. Hey,
And of course, I can't see the chat. I'm working off my phone, so.
Prince Vegeta, hey, what's up, man? Hey, Gas. Diego. See, now, Honest Gas is kind of like you, Maddie. He says, he's, in all the audits he ever did, he never once got detained or arrested. And, he stopped auditing because he got sick of everything going on and turned his channel into an art channel. But he still maintains that if you hold a certain degree of being respectful, and as long as you're not breaking any laws, you'll never be arrested or detained.
Well, here's my answer to that, and this is with all due respect. It's not about me. It's not about the drama and the community. This is about our freedom. And we do this because it's the right reasons to do it, not because of what's popular, not because of what people want to hear or want to say or want to do. We do this because it's the right thing to do. I don't do this for Southside. I don't do this for you. I don't do this for all the subscribers that support me, and I love them to pieces. But I do this because it needs to be done, because it's the right thing to do. And it doesn't matter the drama. The drama has nothing to do. Walk away from it. Ignore the drama. Ignore the Mervites. Ignore all the people that are coming out and licking the boots of these cops and all that. Ignore that shit. Ignore it. You got to have alligator skin if you want to be an auditor. Wouldn't you agree, Southside?
Oh, without a doubt. You have to, because the shit gets, man, when I first started, when you read those comments, man, that shit hurts, to start off. You gotta be ready for the shit you hear and go read. They're brutal.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, but it is what it is. And I somewhat agree, like, to the point that I don't do it for anybody. I do it for myself. I'm not here just making sure that I can exercise my rights. If someone else doesn't want to exercise theirs, that's on them. I don't care if they exercise them or not. But like I said, I care if you lose them, because if they take your rights, then that means they're in the process of taking my rights as well, and I won't allow that.
That goes to that old Japanese thing, for the want of a nail. Have you guys ever heard that before?
No, I can't say I have.
Let's see if I can pull it up. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, let me pull it up for you.
Hey, Man in Black, what's up? Hey, in case you guys didn't realize, the Galaxy Note 9 is Maddie, also known as Constitutional Corner. And then you see Southside Slakr on the screen, and Pink Camera Magic is connecting right now. So, and she's sideways. She's still got to turn her sound down.
Are you guys ready for this? For the want of a nail is a proverb having numerous variations over several centuries, reminding that seemingly unimportant acts or omissions can have grave or unforeseen consequences. For the want of a nail. For the want of a nail, the shoe was lost. For the want of a shoe, the horse was lost. For the want of a horse, the rider was lost. For the want of a rider, the message was lost. For the want of a message, the battle was lost. For the want of a battle, the kingdom was lost. And all for the want of a horseshoe nail.
Wow.
That's deep.
Yeah, that is good. Hello, Amanda. I see that your audio is working now. Welcome.
Oh, there's my girl.
Hey guys, what's up?
What's up, Amanda? Good to see you, hon.
Good to see you too, Maddie. How's it going? Who's all there? Sorry.
You're going robot voice on us. Looks like we lost her. So if anybody
You lost me?
well, yeah,
No.
we did for a second there. We got you now.
Okay. Hey, what's going on?
So, yeah, there's a slight. You must have a slight delay in your signal. Now you're sideways again.
Well, I'll just turn my phone to watch her.
I'm not sure.
So,
Oh, my bad. Sorry, I don't know what's going on here.
that's okay.
Oops.
If any of you guys are wondering what this is about, this is kind of a discussion on auditing styles and the fact that there is no definitive auditing style as long as you're legal. I wanted to bring together some minds that are well known and well established within the community. So, everybody knows Slakr style. He's very straightforward, to the punch.
Mhm.
And Amanda's always been very straightforward but very kind. And then you got Maddie, who's a lot of legal knowledge, and she kind of floats in between both styles. So that's why I wanted to do this. So
Well, he wanted popular auditors, and he got me too.
Hey, I wanted to throw something out there real quick. Can you guys hear me okay?
we can hear you,
Yeah,
Mr.
sure.
Sideways.
All right, I think it's a perfect timing to talk about one thing. Auditing's kind of been going all over the place, and people always talked about certain styles and things like that. But one thing that you can't deny, and I don't know if all you guys saw this, but for those of you who don't know who Andre recently got arrested from. He did an audit, but it wasn't like a typical, recording the building audit. He was holding a sign in protest, which is all First Amendment, saying fuck the police, or fuck City Hall, excuse me. And I think that anybody who wants to learn about auditing or get into it and talk about styles and stuff like that, I think you should start by watching maybe that video or looking at Jeff Gray as a really, really good example of what to do and how to handle these situations, because I thought he handled it with perfection. And when a jury looks at his video, if it goes to a case of becoming a lawsuit, I mean, there's no denying he gave him plenty of opportunity to take it back. He didn't cut at him, and he was just, it goes to show you that no matter how you act, they're, tyrannical people, especially police, are going to act like tyrants.
Well, yeah, I agree. Like, you roboted when you said the name. That was Arizona Auditor, right? That video that's the one you're talking about?
No, Jeff Gray.
Jeff
Gray, honor your oath, was just recently
Jeff
arrested.
Okay, because you roboted when you said the name. All right, cool. Okay.
Yeah, man, it was crazy.
Okay.
Well, the one thing about that, and I'm going to chime in a little bit here because we were just talking about this, is that Jeff Gray gave them plenty of opportunity. And the one reason why he is going to win that is not just because he was calm and in the way that he did it, but he was handling it in a manner that was congruent with current case law. And the current case law with that states, and this is U.S. Supreme Courts that are saying that you have the right to use profanity against your government. There's nothing more nothing more protected than unpopular speech.
That's what I say all the time.
And that's why I'm so glad that you're here, Slakr, too, because he's a perfect example of that. It's like, you can say whatever you want. Maddie's, say, pretty much what you want to, but it's just like, that's why
I don't know.
There isn't like one certain style that's right, because as much as Jeff Gray's rights need to be protected, being polite and kind, Slackers need to be protected as well, because people might not like the fact that, what he has to say to the police, but it doesn't matter. It's all First Amendment.
That's what I'm saying. Can I say real fast, like, on that note, when the only thing that gets me on that, man, is like when people say terms like, he handled it perfectly, and that's how you do it, because he handled it because he had the legal knowledge to know what he was doing. but that kind of gives the impression that that's how you're supposed to handle that situation. You know, like by no means is there a perfect way to handle an audit, because if you're looking at it to win a lawsuit, then that's the perfect way to handle an audit. But if you're out here doing audits to win a lawsuit, then why are you out here doing it? You know, like that's not the end goal. So the fact that I should be able to get the same support for standing there and cussing that guy out that he did, you know what I'm saying, standing there being professional, it doesn't happen. And that's the hypocrisy that's going on now. And I feel like the community, the what we like to call a community, they're starting to become a standard and a normal and a correct this is the way things need to be handled. That shouldn't even be talked about, because there is none of those. Like if you're looking to win a lawsuit, then by all means handle it the way that gentleman handled it, because that's the only way you're going to win a lawsuit. I don't do this to go to court, because I'll tell you what, there's no lawyer in his right mind that doesn't even accept my call. I've called lawyers and told them who I was and got no call back. Like I get people telling me I can't help you, things of that nature. Like you can't come out here doing it to win lawsuits, because then what happens is there becomes a normalcy to auditing. Then the normalcy becomes the standard, and people start to assume that that's the way it has to be done. So someone like myself will begin to. It hasn't happened to me yet, and I could care less if it does. But people like myself will then start to be shunned because they give auditors a bad name. Like,
well, I'd like to take that a little bit further for you too. When a cop goes to the academy, he gets tested. When the cop gets out of the academy and goes into training, he gets tested. When that cop leaves the training and he is now out on his own, he knows that he is covered by his superiors that are going to bury anything and avoid any kind of lawsuits. And the one thing that we need to be mindful of is that these guys, these men and women that are wearing these badges and guns, are supposed to be impervious, and they're supposed to be above temptation. So anything that I say should not trigger them as far as their training goes. And you got to understand, this isn't just into introduction to criminal justice. This is all covered just in the intro to criminal justice.
And that's my main argument, that when they come to situations and tell someone like myself, I need to calm down. Well, I'm in an emotional state right now. I have every right to be, as the way I feel. You're the one who's had training to deal with someone in my emotional state. Why are you escalating this problem? Your training and background has taught you how to handle an irate individual.
Yeah.
Mine
is absolutely true. They need to know how to handle all types of people and all types of situations, and they need to be able to handle it properly. And if just having somebody cuss you out is,
that's a normal. Where I come from, that's normal, man. And the thing is that rather than letting people see that we need to handle it a certain way to win lawsuits, we need to start convincing the public that there's nothing illegal about what people like me are doing. So when they get on those jury stands, they're more likely to provide that jury verdict for someone like myself in the future. Like, it's not acting a certain way to get the jury to see us as well, we're behaving politely and we're behaving responsibly. Why are we getting treated this way? We should be letting these people know, the society know, that it's not the actions of the individual that's on trial. It's not my character. I have every legal right to do what I did. It's the officer's actions. So it doesn't matter if I'm there cussing them out, because like I said, I can go to Houston right now. I can go to fucking to East Houston right now, and I could pick any neighborhood, and I promise you that's how 2/3 of the individuals my age and younger are talking and treating these cops. And the cops are still allowed to drive through these neighborhoods and bully these individuals and treat them like shit and arrest them, because here in Texas, they have convinced the public, they have brainwashed the public to believe that cursing in public is a crime. So if I start yelling in public and cursing, there's officers that will I've seen tell people, I can arrest you for cursing. That is a crime. That is disorderly conduct. So these officers don't even know the laws that they're enforcing, that cursing is not a disorderly conduct, Disorderly conduct.
Jeff.
That's true, but at the same time, if the way the Constitution's designed is that they can change some of those things. Like if enough people don't like that, then they can make changes.
But not to the First Amendment, because like myself, I don't like any type of like I said, racism. If there's a dude walking down my street yelling, racial slurs about African Americans and Mexicans, it's not against the law for me to be offended, and it's not against the law for my ego to be hurt and their words. I have the choice whether to act on these words or not. This man isn't forcing me to do anything. So if I go up and punch him in the face, I don't believe he's created disorderly conduct. He was exercising his First Amendment right. I've just assaulted this man for no reason. Yes, his words I found offensive and his words were disgusting, but he has every right to say that. And they were not physically harming me. They were offensive to my ears and I found them disrespectful. So I punched him. That's not how it works. Those are the most offensive speech is the most protective speech. That's why it's there. I should be able to walk around and say things like, I love seeing dead babies blended in a blender and fed to old timers. And it doesn't matter if somebody gets offended by that. That speech is more protected than me saying, I love the world. You know, the most offensive speech is what's guaranteed protection under the law. So if I see a Nazi, like I said, you see the KKK holding marches in towns with police protection. If that was offensive speech deemed to cause disorder to the streets, that's definitely it. Seeing a bunch of racist fucks marching down the city hall, you know what I'm saying, in the middle of the fucking day, yelling hate slurs to the fucking streets, but the police are standing there protecting them. That shows you that the First Amendment is protected as far as that, but yet I can't cuss a cop out in the street without getting arrested. It makes no sense. But the people think that I can't do that. So the people, every time you see someone getting arrested, they automatically think the cop knows what they're doing because he's a cop. We need to train them and teach them differently.
I'm just going to say this, and I got to get going here pretty soon, but I just wanted to say this. With Jeff's case, what you guys are going to see, and the one reason why it's good, is not just for a lawsuit, because you can sue the city as much as you want. They have insurance. It's not coming out of their pockets. But when you get them to the point where they violated what's known as well-established case law, that is the one key ingredient that you need to go after a cop's qualified immunity and go after them personally for their actions. And that's where Jeff is going to be successful in that, because it's not going to be a city lawsuit. He's going after the individuals. He's going after the qualified immunity to teach them a lesson. It's like if you're speeding up the road and you get a ticket, that's your fine. These cops violate the law, and when they violate well-established case law and you sue them, that's their fine.
Yeah. Right. And I'm glad he did it, and I'm glad it's going 100%. I don't want to sound like I'm knocking the guy. I just hate the fact that it takes that standard to get those things accomplished. That's what I'm upset about. I'm glad for him. He's doing great right now. What he's doing is gonna be like the way Batusai. Like he has a chance at getting some shit accomplished, which is awesome. Yeah. I just hate that it takes that portrayal to get it done. It can't be the young black or Hispanic that's being roughed up by the cops, cussing them out, that gets it done. You know, it's the polite individual who handles it, you know, what they believe to be responsibly and the correct way that's going to get it done. It's upsetting, you know, that it's a double standard like that. It's the same violation, but it's treated differently in each one of these scenarios.
Right. Well, now I wanted to Finbar Martin quoted a few things in the channel I just wanted to point out. He says in one thing, Cohen versus California in 1971, one man's vulgarity is another man's lyric.
Fucking A.
That needs to be on a damn t-shirt.
I'm going to tell you, there's two people that follow a lot of these auditors that I would listen to. One of them is Finbar Martin. The guy is brilliant. And the other one is New Jersey Diver.
Who? The other one who?
New Jersey Diver.
Yes.
NJ,
yeah. You know, he's very neutral. He stays out of the drama.
Yeah, fuck the drama.
Yeah, you know.
Pink, please don't think I was attacking you by no means.
Yeah. So, you know, that's that. I left all the drama. I you know, Amanda, you probably go to Merbs here and there. You know, you don't see me in there anymore.
I really don't that often. I'll veer in every blue moon, but I don't really be on there.
I don't go in there anymore. I walked away from it. I played with them for a little while. I kept going in and out, in and out, in and out. And they'd assign me something. I go back in after, and then have to reassign me. I was being a prick. But it's just me. You know how I am. You know how I do. Anyway, guys, it was such a pleasure. Amanda, you know how you can reach me all the time, anytime you need. Slakr, it's MJ Brophy if you need me on Facebook, buddy. You can ask me anytime you want.
All right.
Oh, man, glad to have you.
Your show, bud.
All right. See you later.
So now we got South San Antonio in the house.
Right. I mean, it is heaven on earth.
Yes.
It is, man. You can't beat this weather, even the hot days.
I'm sitting outside right now, and this breeze is beautiful. God bless Texas.
You in San Antonio now, Amanda?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Well, I knew you had the San Antonio number, but I didn't know you went down there now.
No, I had the number for a while since I went down last time, which, by the way, yesterday was the 1 year anniversary of the filing of the big lawsuit for Leon Valley because they did it on Independence Day last year. I don't know if y'all remember that.
Yep, there's that, and then I was gonna do with CJ Grissom. I'm gonna do an almost parked then and now, you know. So, but yeah, like I said, I wanted to have you both on here because you guys are both very passionate, and yet you're very night and day in your styles, but you both get the job done. That's what I like about the both of you so much is that you both get it done and you do it legally. So,
Hey, don't get me wrong. I'll tone it down when I'm out with people. I don't balls to the wall. When I know someone, when I go out with an individual who's not as willing to put, I don't want to say their life, but their safety on the line. I won't. I don't take it as far.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. And hey, we worked together a couple of times. I love working with him. We've only done a few things, but
yeah, well, hopefully, I mean, my probation's up in August, so hint, hint. I need people to come out here, man. I've got nobody else up here.
that's why I think you should start talking to people locally. It's too bad you don't go on Facebook because you could do a whole thing with your area and get more people interested. Because that's what I did in Chicago, man. I was encouraging people to email me if they wanted to get into it, and so many people did. Like, you'd be surprised, man, at how many people are interested, but they just don't know how to like get started, or they don't do it because they don't have somebody that has their back, to watch their back or encourage them, or to go to for advice and stuff like that.
I just, it's so hard for me to put somebody else at danger. Like, it's hard. To know that I'm carrying, to know that some cops don't like me, that's a 50-50 shot what officer we get, and I'm going to talk back. I'm going to get loud. Like there's some trigger happy officers in the nighttime. That's why I kind of started walking around at night that have been known to get, rough and absurd. So, I mean, I don't know if I could.
People tend to forget about doing this. I mean, you can get arrested, and chances are, if you do this enough, you will.
Oh yeah. Like, oh yeah, cops. Like I know cops sit around at the tables when I first started and talking about can't wait to be the one to teach me a lesson. It's absurd. But,
yeah, well, that's why I thought it was so important the live stream you did the other night, when that you titled it perfectly. A win for us. I mean, that was when I saw that, I hopped right on the stream.
And I mean, it's just the little stuff. I mean, like I said, I may just be reading too much into it, but I mean, honestly, I haven't heard anything too excessive late at night since the last time I streamed over there. I think I was out till 11 o'clock that night filming. I'm just out there being loud and obnoxious, and since that night, like the sirens aren't going, the can is not popping, and I feel vain thinking it's because of me, but I can't help but take a little bit of that, like, because I voiced out and said something, they listen, and it's just a start, it's a start.
Right. Now, Amanda, is there anything we can look forward to from you?
I don't know, man. I just, it's weird doing it in a new town. I want to get out there and do more cop watching and stuff like that. But I've been so busy. I work all the time, and my daughter's here, and it's just really hard to get out there.
Yeah, trust me, I know.
Yeah, my daughter just graduated high school, man. Talk about feeling old.
Congratulations, man.
It's kind of a double-edged sword, It's kind of like, holy crap, my daughter's graduated high school, but yay, my daughter graduated high school. So, my daughter's an adult now. Holy crap.
That'd be an amazing feeling, though.
Yeah.
Scary.
It's definitely scary, the thought of her entering the world. At least she's not entering the world I knew, because I was very much inner city, very much, gangs and violence and all that. And so it's nice to know she's not experiencing that. So,
yeah.
I'd love to see you two get together, though, and do some cop watches and stuff. I think the two of you together, I've never seen you guys work together.
And for the tone it down for me if we ever get out there and do some cop watching, because just have your back all day. I'll just sit there and record and watch. You know what I mean?
I know, but it's I can't help it. I can't be. I would feel like shit if I was responsible for somebody else getting injured due to my my actions. Like I'd feel like shit.
It would be because of their actions. Don't trip, man.
Well, true that. But I'll be painted as the bad guy, and I don't know. It's.
Well,
but we have worked there. Yeah, at what was it? Up on the north side. It was off Austin Highway. I forget what police force that is out there.
Well, I know one of the biggest questions that comes up as far as Slakr is the why. Why are you so aggressive? Why are you so passionate? Is there something that led up to it?
What?
Nothing.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, man. It kind of comes from spending my years. I fucked up as a teenager. I did, and I spent a lot of my time in the Texas Youth Commission. Y'all in Texas know what that is. It's like the oh my God, we're gonna send these kids off to state schools and fucking boot camps and shit. And when I got out and being in there, you see the constant fucking like the programming to follow orders and obey. Cops are always right, yada yada. And I didn't know any rights, anything. Like they don't teach you that shit. So when I got out and I seen videos and I seen people violating their rights, I started watching cops differently because I see it's a TV show of constant rights violations that if they were to use these videos as evidence in court, they'd probably beat all these cases. I started seeing what I was ignorant to when I was younger. That had I known what these cops were doing when they would just stop me and know me because I have previous, let's say an arrest for possession of marijuana. The neighborhood cop knows that. He sees me and stops me and pulls me over and just pats me down and checks me, finds nothing, and just drives off like it's no big deal. You know what I'm saying? I see him. He does the same thing to my friends and associates. I've seen it done here in San Antonio. I lived in a couple neighborhoods in Houston. I lived in the Valley. Like this is a thing I see regular in different parts of Texas, that it's no big deal for a cop to just run up on anybody from a child, 10, 11, 12 years old in the wrong neighborhood to a grown man and just jump out of his car, pat him down, run his pockets, like, hey man, what you got? What you holding? Boom, you got nothing? All right, cool. Man, you got any warrants? Let me get your ID. You got any warrants? Like, just because they know he's had previous encounters with the law. Now, it don't matter I've had previous encounters with the law. My rights are still, like, I'm not a convicted felon. None of my rights have been revoked as a convicted felon. So all my rights are 100% standing. So you can't just jump out on me and because I've had a past possession of marijuana charge, think you can just run my pockets and think you're going to find something. That's not how it works, man. You got to have probable cause. And your probable cause isn't the fact that, oh, well, you were arrested once with it. That's not how it works, man. I'm walking down the street right now, bro. You need to get the fuck up off me. And at that point, he's assaulting me. I didn't know he was assaulting me. I would just get mad at the cops, let them do what they did. And I had to deal with it. My homies had to deal with it. Other kids in other neighborhoods and other individuals in other neighborhoods just have to deal with it because they don't know any better, because nobody's teaching them any better. You know what I'm saying? So when I became aware of what was being done is when I got angry. I got upset, and it makes me upset. So when I see it happening, I've got years of pent up anger that, like, this is what they've been doing to me since I was fucking 12, 13 years old. This is nothing new to me. But now I know that what they've been doing is complete bullshit and shouldn't have been done. So, it's constant harassment that's been going on over the years, and nobody teaches these individuals, grown men, grown women, young kids, nobody teaches them any better. So, and they wonder why we get angry and we get aggressive when we find out our rights and find out how long you've been doing this to us. You know what I'm saying? You've just been pissing on us and telling us it's raining for decades, and now we find out we're getting pissed on and you're mad at us for being mad. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it was like that for me for the longest time. I was like, I didn't know that was all wrong. I had no clue. It was just, you get patted down, all money would go missing from your pocket or whatever, and that was just the norm.
It was my fault for being ignorant. I should have took the time to seek that knowledge out. So I blame myself for being violated all those years. You know what I'm saying? Because at any point I could have taken that incentive to see, to rather than reading bullshit books like fucking Stephen King and fucking CJ Grisham, fucking you know what I'm talking about, fucking the Rights to Spy novels. Fuck. Oh shit, I can't think of his name now because I got CJ stuck in my head. But I'm reading novels rather than reading rights and reading laws. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gaining bullshit knowledge rather than gaining knowledge that could help myself in the future. And so I blame myself. I'm mad at myself. So that's a part of that anger as well. They're getting years of me being mad at myself for being ignorant.
Yeah, now, contrary to you is Amanda, what kind of, well, you always know, and I've always appreciated your style. Even when I was anti-auditing, I still was a fan of you because of your demeanor, your professionalism, all that. Is there anything in particular that made you like want to be so professional, so calm?
I think the fact that I watched Jeff Gray and Philip Turner, how they do it, they've always sort of been my inspiration for auditing in the first place. And then once I got into it more and started seeing more people working together and stuff like that, as a matter of fact, it was one of his videos where I saw Slakr for the first time. And when I had a better knowledge of what the First Amendment actually means in the Constitution and things that are covered, I was able to appreciate, those. I've always liked it for the entertainment value, but now I see the real importance of doing these different styles and the fact that you can blatantly be out there with a sign that says fuck City Hall, and the fact that you can say, you can kiss my ass, fuck the police. Those are some of the most protected types of free speech, anything that's critical of your government. And so, I saw what they did. It was a group of them. They went to Via, it was like the bus station, and I saw how they were doing. First they used Philip, but he went out there just by himself, and then they started messing with him, and Slakr came following with his rifle, or I think might have been a rifle. He had his gun, and he was talking to the cops and antagonizing them, and if you want to call it that, yeah, you can say that. And then we had Steve with I think Todd were sitting at the bus stop, and they just had this whole thing planned, and they're three vastly different styles, in my opinion, seems like, and how they work together and how all these different areas of the First Amendment sort of came together and that woke me up to a lot of different styles. And I guess it's like that. And then still also with being more calm and reserved, that's just who I am personally. I can't sit there and cuss the cops out because that's not who I am. It would be an act.
Sorry, guys, I got an important text I have to answer. I apologize.
No, you're good. Like I said, and to me, like one of mine, like I always say, man, it was Joe Citizen that helped give me the I don't want to say like that courage, man, but when I saw him out there just being him and just being raw, I was like, why should I give a fuck? Like, just do you, So it was Joe Citizen for me, man. Like,
I love him, man.
Yeah,
there's a guy in Chicago named Joe Cool who kind of reminds me of him now. Who's out there in Chicago.
I love, like I said, man. Like, if there's anybody, because I love everybody, and I said, I still feel like a subscriber at times. So I'd probably feel like a high school girl, all giddy, if I ever met him. Like, like I'd be shy, wouldn't know what to say. Like, I'd turn into a bitch instantly. Like, it'd be weird, and it'd be because I made it weird. Like, it'd be all, yeah.
Yeah, people ask me what are my style gonna be like, because I've only done a few audits, like I said before. My PO found them, and I got in big trouble. But I think it's really, I don't have a style per se, but I want to model myself after all of you guys that have made a difference, because you all changed my mind. Like I said, I was anti-auditing for a long time, and you guys and Michigan Mister and Denise Lynn, you guys are the ones that helped me open my eyes. So definitely, I want to incorporate a little bit of everybody.
But it's hard to say style though, because again, man, just do you. Whatever happens, happens. Like there's no real style to it. I mean, it's just people out there exercising their rights. And if you can stay calm, like Pink, I'm saying, that's all great. There's nothing against that. I have no problem. And I don't talk shit about anyone that chooses to stay calm or cooperate or do how you do, because that's how you do it. I can't judge how you feel and how you choose to act, man. So it's it'll just all come fluidly. It's hard to say, what you want to do. It's just I knew with Joe that that's how I felt.
Well,
and I knew if I was professional, I'd be acting. I knew if I went out there and acted like NNH or Pink or people that were out there, doing it, like I don't want to say not causing any more trouble than they needed. I'd be acting because that's not me. Because when I come home, I'm a loudmouth, vulgar shithead, just like I am to the cops. You know, so it's
Yeah, see, now that's one of those things. I know it's a pet peeve for you, Slacker, but Pink, when you see somebody
it is.
saying, Joe Blow's style is the correct way and
So
Slacker's doing
yeah.
it wrong, what does that make you think?
Oh, I mean, like I said, it just upsets me because then words like correct, you know, the right way, all this shit shouldn't exist because these don't exist, man. Rights are not group based. And I say this all the time, man. Our rights are not group based. Our rights are individual based. They can only relate to me how I see them. Nobody else can experience the way I feel and how I exercise my rights. So to say that I'm wrong or that the way I do it is causing problems or it's gonna hurt the scene, then you're saying that me as a person is going to hurt society. Not what I'm doing, that me as a person. Because what you're seeing, like I said, isn't an act. I'm not out here just to cuss these cops out because I have plenty of videos where I'm not cussing the cops out. You know what I'm saying? Where, like I said, cops are driving by and waving at me saying, "What's up, slacker?" I got plenty of those, you know? But it's not about going out here and cussing them out, man. Like, when you say that I'm doing it wrong, you're saying that I, as a person, am what's wrong with society. And that's what's fucked up because that how can you tell me that what how I like that's like me saying that what Amanda does is wrong. Like I can't tell Amanda what she does is wrong. She's a grown woman that can only feel and act how she chooses to. So what my rights don't pertain to her. They're the same basic coverage, but my rights aren't the same as her rights. Her rights are going to be treated differently because she's going to use them differently. She may not want to openly carry a gun. She may rather conceal her gun rather than me. I don't mind having mine open, but that doesn't make her or myself wrong in what we're doing. We're just all individuals and exercise things uniquely as to the individual. Like there is no blanket statement for the First Amendment is everybody's. Yes, it is everybody's, but like you said, real hardcore Christian would here in Texas, that's what we have to fight with the First Amendment. Like Texas is super, super strict with that because a lot of the people that still hold Texas tight are right wing conservatives, that are real Christian based and real like, you can't speak and talk and do certain things, So that's the people we're fighting against. That when they hear me say fuck in public, you see the old lady gasp and hold her mouth like, oh my God, I can't believe he just said fuck. That's the person we're having to go against to convince that what I'm doing is it wrong. It may differ from you, but that doesn't make it wrong. Everybody's a unique individual. Like I don't know. It's hard to get out to make sense, but yeah, it's rights are an individual thing. My rights are I can only express them how I feel, not how you feel, not how you see, not how you want. Because if you start conforming the way people have their rights, then they're not rights anymore. Then that means everybody that does something outside of the quote unquote norm or correct way is subject to persecution just because the mass doesn't find it appropriate. Well, that's not how it works. The mass doesn't have the right to choose a correct way, an appropriate way. The mass doesn't get that. That's not how it works. The right protects me as the minority. That was you. The rights protect me as a minority, which offends the masses. That's what it protects.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree, and that's like I say, man, I'm a big fan of you. Always have been since my eyes were open to all this. But my big thing is as long as you're legal, who cares what your style is? As
That's what it
long as
comes
you're
down to.
legal. Now, Michael.
Because
Well, I was
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
I wanted to ask Pink a question real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Say you got your average new auditor. Obviously, we've got tons of them coming and going all the time now. You're very experienced. So, what would you tell a new auditor who's trying to determine their way? Like, they find their footing within the movement. Aside from stay legal, is there anything that you would tell any new auditor that you believe they should all know?
As far as like for when they're doing their audits, or
Yeah.
what do you? I'm not sure what you mean.
Style, like auditing style, they're going to be confronted by cops, all that. What what advice could you give them?
I mean, I don't know. I guess anybody that I ever work with who ask me questions and stuff, I always tell them that they're gonna develop their own style, but just I don't know. Just don't break the law.
Yeah.
I personally, I'm not a fan of like going into buildings and like going into parking lots and stuff like that. I'm not a fan of, but if they want to test that and if they think they're being, then do you know?
Yeah, I agree too. It's, some people in the channels are saying stay legal does not help. Well, I mean, yes, the main thing that everybody should do, of course, is make sure you know your local laws, your local statutes, anything that may affect, if you want to be a Second Amendment auditor, make sure you know what those laws are pertaining to carrying a gun.
I got one piece of advice. If it comes to the point where you're in a tense situation with the cops and you're being detained or arrested, it's gone beyond just the general dialogue. If you choose to talk with them, if it comes to the point where you're being detained or arrested, just shut the fuck up.
Yep.
Just invoke the fifth and let them do their investigation. Let them do their thing, because the only thing that you could possibly do is incriminate yourself if you talk. So just shut up and then let them make their decision. Are they gonna respect your rights? They're gonna know that they're wrong and let you go, or are they gonna try to do some bullshit and arrest you? Just let them make that decision, because you're not gonna be able to talk your way out of it.
Your sound is a little distorted, just so you know. We did understand you, but you're a little staticky. So, but yeah, Slakr, I think more than anything, the Second Amendment audits are what people need to know. You're the perfect person to tell them what to expect.
Oh, it's a flip of a coin. I mean, you can't really expect anything. Like I go into it every time I hear over the radio that they're sending somebody out because they got to call a man with a gun and they fill out the description and it fits me. I go in there expecting anything. Just, it could be a guy that just drives by. I could get shot. I got to be ready and willing to face any consequences that come of my action. You know what I'm saying? Because they may come. It may be a whole bullshit deal to where the cop shoots me and he goes to jail and everything, and I become a martyr. But I got to be aware that that's a possibility. I can't be so naive to think that this cop won't shoot me because he believes I'm going for my gun rather than, raising up my hand or pushing live on my YouTube channel. He may use, I don't know what he was doing. I was in fear for my life. He had something in his hand. And then all y'all see in the beginning of a live stream is me fucking gasping and gurgling, laying there dead because this cop got trigger happy. That's a real possibility. So if you're not willing to face actual consequences for your actions, then don't do it. Period. I'm like, if you're willing to face whatever comes of whatever you choose to do, then take that chance, because I know damn well it's a possibility. I mean, it's sad to say that, but I've had plenty of guns pointed at me, and these cops, they don't know proper gun safety. When I point a gun at somebody, if I was to, my finger is on the trigger guard until I need to fire that weapon. These cops don't practice that. These cops, as soon as their weapon is out, they're itching to pull that fucking trigger, itching for it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm prepared. I'm prepared to face death if need be, but I don't really think that that's going to happen, in all honesty. In my honest opinion, I do not see myself getting shot by an officer, but I have to be aware that that's a possibility.
Yeah, see, first off, Rod Miller in the channel keeps asking if you got his email. He's going to court on Wednesday, so he's really hoping you saw his email.
We're going to be there early.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll check that. To be honest, I haven't been checking my email lately because I've been working these god-awful hours.
And the other thing that Ed Hargrove is saying, and this makes perfect sense, everybody should know this, is remember that your video may end up in front of a jury. That makes perfect sense to me. So, yeah, I mean, it's mostly just people saying they appreciate you guys, and I know you guys are probably wondering what's going on.
I'm not reading the chat.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to relay what
I can't see the chat.
Yeah, So you guys know Slakr210's on his way to a movie, so he doesn't have a whole lot more time. But
I still got. Let me see what time it is. I still got about 15 minutes. I figure y'all can just take the cruise with me up there.
well, if you guys got questions for these two, now's the time to ask them.
You're gonna have to read them because I can't see the chat.
Yeah, I will.
It's what, 7:30, right?
Yeah, it's just
I
a
just don't know if
big
they're
deal.
loud
It keeps coming. The question keeps coming up of who's right, who's not, and I know.
That's a subjective term, and I'll argue that to the death. Right, wrong, normal, beautiful, perfect. These are all subjective terms. It's like beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Like, I mean, no two minds think 100% alike.
Yep, and I agree.
That's why I get so upset. Like, because like I said, when I was in TYC, they try to drill, right, wrong, this, that, yada, yada. Like, you get tired of constantly being told something that is right is wrong, and yeah, it's those words like are subjective, and they really touch a sensitive subject because my whole life that's what it's been. I've been told through public school systems and other forms of government, like, oh, there's something wrong, yada yada. This is how you're supposed to be. This is that. Like, no, you can't tell me how to be me. I only know how to be me, and I'm barely coming into that at these ages when you're trying to tell me I'm not who I think I am. Like at 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, I myself am barely coming to understand myself as an individual. And then now you're telling me that what inside I feel and think is wrong. Like you don't have that right to tell me what's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like those are subjective terms, and no. They touch a sensitive subject. Like, you have the right to think these, and hey, I'm not gonna hate you. Like, I'm not gonna go to the end of the day and be like, oh, fuck all these people. I'm not gonna pray that y'all get fucking damned or nothing. Y'all have the right to feel that there should be a right, wrong, appropriate, yada yada. I just disagree with that very passionately. That's all.
I agree. That's why I do these. I want people to know that, because so many people, they think you guys are untouchable, unreachable, like you guys don't really care what the general viewers think, anything like that. So I want people to realize you guys are you're just normal like the rest of us. You just have been doing this a while. That's all.
We come from all different walks of life, and I would say that like people, that watch are also all very, an eclectic group of people with different backgrounds and different, motivations and, different experiences. And I would want to encourage everybody to test their government, and exercise their rights.
Yeah, Rod, he's talking about how he would do a FOIA request. He says he got a second ticket that was a retaliatory after asking the officer a question. He thinks he caught the officer breaking a law. He wants to know, how does he do a FOIA request?
What does he want to request?
Yeah, I was just going to say, what are you looking to get, man? Body cam footage, dash cam footage?
Well, one thing, like most departments, like especially if you're looking at a police department, they have like a whole department or a person that handles things like that. You can call them directly, usually just ask them how to do it, because every place is a little bit different. They have different, procedures and stuff. So I guess I would just say just to call that person, the open records officer or whatever you want to call them.
And
I have no idea.
Graham Guitard says, Southside Slakr, are you going to continue open carry in Texas?
Oh, of course, yeah.
That's a given.
But like I said, I really can't expand too much till after January. My license, it's been suspended. January 10th, I'm able to get it. That's when I'll be able to go far. But for the most part, it's in the neighborhood that already knows me. So the cops that come out of they say it over the radio. Southside's out, known to carry. Just letting you know. So the cops would drive by, see me and just keep going. That's the win. That's what I'm looking for. But I wish it wouldn't be Southside. I wish it would just be, I wish it was just a man's carrying such and such, just give a patrol by kind of deal. I wish it wouldn't be specifically me. So it's a partial win, but they know me around here. It's my neighborhood. My family's been in here fucking years. So
Right. Yeah, I know. I wish I could do that here in New York, but there's no such thing as open carry in New York. So,
you good, you got it. Oh, thank God. You want to try they don't kill us, bro.
so, yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, nobody else has really had any questions for you guys. Just people saying thank you and they appreciate what you guys do and all that.
Oh yeah, no, I encourage everyone to do it. Like I said, it don't have to be against the government. If you're somebody who appreciates it, fuck, voice your opinion that way. It don't matter to me. Like, I don't care what side of the fence you're on, man. If you're out there exercising your right, do it. Like, I don't hate the people that are like, do I feel, like, can I argue with them and get a kick out of it? Yeah, but I'm not mad at the people who think that what we do is wrong and the cops are right. They have the right to think that, that's their fucking right. And like, I may be upset at the time, but I'm not gonna hate them. I'll still the next day wake up and have breakfast with them. And if they want to continue the debate, we can. If they just want to move on, no big deal.
Yeah, I can't type.
First Amendment.
Sorry, Amanda.
What's that?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. What did you say?
Oh, nothing. I was just rambling a little bit. I was saying that's the beauty of the First Amendment.
Yeah.
We can all have these discussions and debates, and people are going to have different opinions. And
yeah, that's the point. And, it's like Slakr keeps saying.
To have an open sort of forum to talk about these things.
Yeah, well, that's why, when Slakr says the worst kind of free speech is the most protected free speech, I think people keep forgetting that. I mean, I can reference so many videos where people were treated like crap just because they said a bad word.
I was just saying, I'm not promoting things like racial or homophobic or sexist slurs or anything like that. But I have to understand that people have the right to say these things. Just because I don't agree with them and I don't like them, alleged hate speech in my mind doesn't exist, because what you're saying, like being offended and my ego being hurt, aren't against the law. What I do after hearing what you say is my choice. You didn't force me. You didn't walk up and push me and make me retaliate and defend myself. You walked by saying something I really felt repulsed by, so I chose to hit you in the face. That's just assault, period. You have the choice to react when somebody says something or not. And that's what people fail to get. They're trying to place blame on somebody else for their actions. You had that choice to confront that individual and punch him. Now, what they said vile and disgusting? Without a doubt. Without a fucking doubt. But you did not have to do anything. So that's where I don't see any type of speech being, like I said, hate speech, disorderly conduct, this or that. Like, all speech is protected because you have the choice to react how you choose to.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And people, you gotta know, yes, there may be retaliatory consequences to it, but the end result is we're stuck fighting that in court. So.
It's like, and like I said, I'm super right wing on most of my issues, except when it comes to something like free speech. Like I try to be as liberal as I can be with free speech. Like it's either all protected or none of it's protected. That's just how it works. There are no buts, corners, shadows, nothing, gray areas. It's either all protected or none of it's protected. Because as soon as you ban one word, it opens the door for every other word to be banned. All they have to do is to get enough people to not like it.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm also, I constantly say this, there's a big difference between a sidewalk and a private venue.
Oh yeah. Like if you're on someone's personal property, hey, that to deal with the consequences. Deal with the consequences. Yeah, exactly. Here in Texas, we can shoot trespassers. So Fair warning.
Now, my thing, Amanda, what comes up all the time, people ask, and I've tried to answer this question, but it's not really my place to answer this. So a lot of people want to know, why did you take the plea deal on that case?
On my trespassing case?
Yeah, the post office one?
Yeah, I took a plea deal because if I fought it, they were going to keep me in the county jail for 2 months and over Christmas. And I have an apartment, I have bills, I have a child to take care of. I can't sit there in the county jail for 2 months over any charge, let alone a punk ass trespassing charge. They're gonna let me off with time served and a little probation. So I mean, it's fucked up, and I wish I could have taken it all the way, but I couldn't. So
there's responsibilities that take precedence. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. See, that's why my point is, people try to mess with me because the probation I'm sitting on right now is because I had to take a deal. So, and people are like, "Oh, you're a punk. You took the deal. You should have fought it." Blah blah. People got to realize that we're all human.
And what they should be worried about or thinking about anyways is the fact that, how much does it cost to keep me on house arrest or put me in jail or to charge me with trespassing for what I was doing, for being outside of a post office taking pictures of it. Okay, so people, the taxpayers and the community really need to look at the fact that, is this acceptable? And try to find a way to change those type of policies from within and not, be so worried about the auditor or the person testing it as much as, do we really want to flip the bill for prosecuting this?
Yeah. It amazes me sometimes, like with the whole Bow situation, how long they drag that out in court and all that. All because he went into a damn courtroom with a camera. I mean, it just amazes me what they're willing to spend on taking us down sometimes.
Oh, here in Texas, it's hard to fight that right when it comes to free speech. It is.
Yeah, well, I'm just glad you guys stopped by, and I'm glad you guys shared your opinions and thoughts, and that's why I'm trying to get this out there more for people to help new auditors and old, to better understand that we're all fighting for the same goal. Doesn't matter if you like to curse or not. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. So, I appreciate you guys both coming on here and chatting with me. And of course, Maddie, who was on earlier. But I know, Slakr, you got to get to your movie, and I think it's cool you're down in Texas now. But damn, I didn't know you were in Texas.
The weather's the best down here. What can you say?
Yeah, it's freaking 93 and like 90% humid here.
Oh yeah, we're up there. It's hot right now. Don't get me wrong, but not too much longer. Autumn's coming around the corner. It's my favorite time of year.
Yep, mine too.
I'm just looking forward to a winter with little to no snow. That's gonna be a first for me.
Oh, enjoy it. Like the low, maybe 40. Like we'll have a couple freezing, but 40 maybe. 40, no wind, no fucking more precipitation. Like
I'm used to being snowed in, like 3 or 4 feet of snow, like on a consistent basis. So this is gonna be a nice change.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna laugh at us when you see us out and about during the winter. You're gonna laugh and be like, y'all are cold. This ain't shit.
Right.
Just walking around in shorts and shit. Yeah.
I know, it's like I'm used to. I'm like Amanda.
They close down stores and all kinds of stuff. What?
I'm like you. Where I live, it's like 5-6 feet of snow. Negative 30 degrees.
Yeah. Fuck that noise. I'm through with that shit.
Yeah, we'll get our 2 weeks of winter, and that's about it.
2 weeks. We get like 5 months.
And before Chicago, I came from Minnesota, so it was just worse. It was worse there, even. So.
Yeah. So. All right. Well, if any of you guys, you want to come back on again and shoot the shit some more, I'm here. I'm gonna try to do more of these, roundtable discussions and just basically let people talk and let people share their thoughts and opinions and let the viewers know that you guys are human too. You know, we just because we're on camera doesn't mean we're not human. So
I don't know. Slakker's kind of like a superhero
yeah, he
No,
is, man. People
far
think
from
he's
it.
a celebrity.
for the little guy.
Far from it. I am, man. Like, that's why I constantly get fucked with and picked on. And, I'm like 5'10", 5'11", 140 pounds. Like, they think they can just fucking, yeah. I'm used to it, though. Like I said, it's nothing that hasn't been happening for a while.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. When you guys first gave me your phone numbers, I was all excited. I was like, "Oh man, holy cow! I got Slakker's phone number. I got Pink Camera Magic's phone number." Now you guys are just your friends that I text and talk to, and you know. So all right, well, I mean, nobody else has got any real
It
questions
was
or
nice
nothing.
talking to y'all, but I gotta go to.
All right,
Oh,
thank you. So
good night, y'all.
night.
All right, good night.
All right, Slacker, thanks for coming, man.
Already, man, not a problem.
All right, I'll
You
talk
have a
with you
good
later.
one, man. Stay blessed.
Yep. If you guys want me to keep the chat up for a little while or whatever, I can. I mean, it's entirely up to you guys.
There we go, right there, man.
Yeah, like I said, threat assessment, he knows a lot about that kind of stuff, so talk to him about it. Hey, Gas, are you going to be going live at all? Oh, thank you, Slap Weasel. Yeah, like as usual, if you guys wanna chip in at all, there's the PayPal right there above my head. Steve Pinder lets me use his, and I appreciate it. Or Super Chat, whatever you want. I think I'm like 10, no, like $20 shy on Super Chats before they'll actually give me the money. You don't know what Tyrant alerts are, Graham? Basically, the Tyrant alerts, it's a type of video we've been doing for a few years now, and it's basically when somebody gets arrested or something happens that's really bad, we all send each other texts and say, look, you need to put a video up, like with Jeff Gray when this just happened to him. All of our phones were blowing up saying, Jeff Gray just got arrested. Make sure everybody knows what's going on. So that's kind of what the whole Tyrant Alert thing is. Yes, he did get raided by the FBI, and he did get arrested on weapons charges. Sarah T, glad to see you here. But yeah, that Graham, when you see those, that's because it's basically all of us texting each other to get the word up. And then we put the videos up to tell all of our subscribers, hey, look what happened. So we try to get the information out as fast as possible to as many people as possible. If you guys like art and stuff, you should check out Honest Gas's channel. He does a lot of work with copper wire and aluminum wire and, different types of stones and stuff. I enjoy watching it, but F off. So, I have no public opinion on Hate the State, so don't ask because I have no public opinion on him. Yeah, giggle name. Yeah, like Bend Over or Buster Hyman. That one always gets me. Funny as hell. So I'm not sure what a slap weasel is, but it does sound funny. Makes you picture somebody picking up a weasel and just. I appreciate that, F. So, hey, Pepper, I'm about to shut it down, actually. Yeah, I know, Mike Hunt, yep, that's another one. Thank you, Threat Assessment, appreciate it. So, again, final words, like I said, if anybody wants to chip in, there's the PayPal above my head, or you can click the Super Chat button. Either or. I'm sitting here suffering, and that's why I keep wiping my head. And it's freaking 93 degrees and humid as hell up here. So upstate New York sucks right now. I'm between like several lakes. I got like Lake Erie to the west, Lake Ontario to the north. Then I'm surrounded by quite a few rivers and the New York State Finger Lakes, and so it gets real humid here. Oh yeah, I know. Eyes on corruption. Yeah, I mean, going to, you know who you should talk to? New England Truth. If you're gonna go pro se, talk to him. He's won quite a few cases now going pro se. So tell him I told you to go over there and talk to him. All right, Ed Ramirez. Thanks for stopping in. Well, that's not bad. Sixth Estate. It was earlier. It was 100% humidity. We had a huge thunderstorm that blew through. Now it's like I think the phone said it was like 80% humid. Um, yep, still 80% humid. New England Truth net NET. His channel is New England Truth. His name is Tyrone. Just tell him I sent you and you wanted to talk about going pro se. I'll send him a text right now that you're gonna try to get a hold of him. So he like I said, he's won quite a few pro se cases and he's really good at it. So he's definitely someone you should talk to. That's another reason I wanted to bring up this thing, though, is a lot of people tried to rip on him with the whole Inside Edition TV report on auditing. That was so twisted, so backwoods. They completely twisted what was going on. They tried to make Tyrone look like a fool, and they tried to make Padilla look like a fool. They took the worst of their videos and showed that only. Now, luckily, Tyrone recorded the whole thing, the entire thing. So, definitely before you judge him based on their report, go watch his video. He released a video about it. So, I just sent him a text, Eyes on Corruption. So, Well, if you're talking about on air, man, just email me, because I know I could set something up. Or you could just go to his channel and leave him a comment, and he'll get back to you. But I just sent him a text about you, Eyes on Corruption. Well, I got a feeling having you two on here, I wouldn't get a word in edgewise. You guys are both very knowledgeable in what you do and what you talk about, and, you know, I don't know a lot about the whole legal side of things except what pertains to what I do. My email address is on my About page. Brian King Samsung, all one word, like Samsung phones, all one word, at gmail.com. That's my email address. If anybody, don't use that for PayPal, though, if that's what you're looking for. Use Steve Pinder's address right here, just in case anybody is. I'm still working out getting my PayPal sorted out with them. All right. Well, I mean, if nobody else has any new news or anything that's come up, I mean, I don't know how many people are even in here right now. I got 3 different numbers showing up on my screen, so one says 44, one says 31, one says 28. Eyes on Corruption. Just leave him a comment on his most recent video. And just say, you know, hey, Brian King said to get a hold of you. I sent him an email or a text, so he'll know to expect you. So otherwise, you know, I appreciate y'all coming and hanging out with me, and you know, I know now that my guests are gone, the channel shrinks, but that's okay. I'll try to set up another roundtable for sometime soon and get a couple more people on here to just shoot the breeze on stuff. So, like I said, I gotta get a hold of CJ Grissom. I'm gonna do an almost parked then and now video or stream. I haven't decided yet. So, but alright. You guys all take care. Have a good, safe weekend. Remember, no drinking and driving. Enjoy.